Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mark with Limo Marketer, back with another video for you all. Whoa, what a week it has been. I'm sure you are all feeling it right now in the transportation industry. I know many of my clients are. I'm sure you're getting a lot of cancellations, events are being canceled, the world's gone crazy. However, in times like this, there's always opportunities. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I don't want to talk about doom and gloom. We get enough of that watching the news. So I wanted to go over a few stats that I'm seeing, a few trends I'm seeing, and then I also want to make a very important announcement in a few minutes. First things first, I kind of want to just go over what I've been seeing as far as trends in lead volume, cost per lead. As many of you know, I run close to 100 accounts in this industry, so it puts me in a unique position to be able to see what's actually going on. And so here's what I've seen, and the reason I didn't do this video earlier is it just wasn't soon enough. I wanted to see what this week was going to look like as far as data. And so what I did is I put together about 25 of my highest spending accounts all over the US. And I wanted to see what's going on with lead volume, what's going on with cost per click, which isn't insanely important. It's really about cost per lead. And so here's what I've found, and I've made some notes. So number one, the total conversion volume, meaning the volume of leads, has dropped quite a bit. And what I've found is for corporate and airport, it's getting hit the hardest, and I've seen drops of 35, 40% for those types of businesses, and for some businesses, 10 to 20%. So really, I found anywhere from 10 to 40% drop in total lead volume. Now, the cost per lead. This is probably the most important metric. Cost per leads are staying about the same from what I've seen. I've seen a few accounts where it's gone up a little bit, some accounts where it's gone down. But overall, there hasn't been a huge increase or decrease, which somewhat makes sense. What's happening right now is lots of companies are panicking, and when they panic, they cut their budgets for advertising, which I understand. Look, you have to pay your employees, you've got bills, you got a lot of overhead. But that can be kind of a silver lining on this for those of you who keep your campaigns running, because when there is a drop in demand and the number of advertisers stays the same, cost per lead goes up. And so since there was a large decrease in lead volume, or well, I shouldn't say large, but 10 to 40%, 40% is pretty large. You would think that the cost per lead would shoot up because same amount of advertisers, less demand, prices go higher. Simple economics, right? But it's staying about the same. So that's good news. And what that tells me is a lot of advertisers are pausing. With the companies I've worked with, it hasn't been as many as I thought. 10 to 15% have paused their campaigns. And a few other things. So cost per click, I've seen a slight decrease, but I am very confident that over the following weeks, those will go down as well, which is a good thing because what that means is you will pay less for a lead. And so one thing I want to make clear, I know a lot of you are getting cancellation. And when you stop your advertising, you also the leads dry up, which means the new business dries up. But I know what you're probably thinking, Mark, why would I spend money on advertising if they're just going to cancel anyways? And here's one of my most important points. you need to track. You need to more than ever track what you're spending on your advertising, how many people are booking, and of those people, how many of them are canceling. And so a few suggestions I would make, and take these with a grain of salt, but at least consider them. So number one, lots of cancellations. One thing you could possibly do is give a voucher instead. I know many of you have clauses in your contracts that say, hey, this is non-refundable. If you cancel within a certain period of time. Now, if you have a repeat client who uses you a lot and you pull that on them, I don't think that's a good idea. That might not be a client for very long. Alternatively, you could give them a voucher. Okay. Now, if this is a first-time client, and they were going to, let's say, South by Southwest, that event was canceled, that might be a different story. If they don't travel to Austin very often, you want to do the right thing. That's why, coming up, what I'm going to tell you, I want to do my part for this industry as well. So now more than ever, it is so important that you are tracking how many leads you're getting, where they're coming from, how many are booking, and then how many are canceling. And so one thing you might consider doing is, with so much uncertainty, no one knows how long this is going to last. It could be a month or two. Who knows? It could last for 4 or 5 months. We just don't know. So one thing you could do, that you could offer to be proactive, is tell them, hey, look, I know there's a lot of uncertainty right now. What I'd like to do for you is this. Our clause says 50% non-refundable deposit, or whatever it might be. You tell them, look, I'm going to do away with that, and instead, I will give you this. I will tell you that, let's say this thing lasts longer than we hoped it would. You book. If nobody else wants that vehicle on that date, then we will, refund your deposit or give you a voucher for future use. Because what that's going to do is it's going to alleviate a lot of worry. And especially if your competitors aren't doing that, who are you going to go with? At a time like this, you really, really want to be understanding. It's not just us that's struggling. This is going to make its way into pretty much everyone's life. And so really, it's important to do your part, be understanding, and they're the ones they're going to remember when this thing is all over. And so really just taking care of your clients, and even those people that just booked with you. Try to be understanding, try to offer a voucher or maybe some sort of discount. Even though I don't usually suggest discounts, we are in a somewhat unprecedented time. Okay. Now, the announcement I wanted to make is this. So the limo industry has given me so much, and I am so appreciative. I'm still relatively new in this industry, but it really has welcomed me with open arms. I've got to meet a lot of you at the trade shows. Unfortunately, I missed the last one. I was getting married, but the industry has given so much to me, and I know I put on webinars and trainings, and what I wanted to do is this. So right now, what I've noticed, the biggest opportunity is, I know many of you don't have the marketing dollars to be spending, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month on Google Ads. One thing that I know is working really well with the companies I work with is Bing Ads. Okay, now I'm not saying Bing Ads is better than Google Ads. It's not. Google just has far more people searching on it. However, Bing Ads, the cost per lead is sometimes 50% less, sometimes 60 or 70% less. So let me put that in perspective. Let's say you're paying $20 on Google for a lead. On Bing, you might pay $8 or $7 or $10. And so while you can't spend as much, that might be okay for a time like this, right? Because budgets are going to be lowered, right? But you don't want the reservations to dry up completely. So what I'm going to do is this. On, I believe it's March 25th. Let me just double check. March 25th. Yes, on Wednesday, March 25th, what I'm going to do is this. I've never done this before. I am going to walk you through step by step how to build a Bing ads campaign. And that's going to include how to find ad copy to write. That's going to include how to find the keywords you should be using, the keyword match types you should be using. I'm going to show you how to create native keyword lists. And it's going to be completely free. And the reason I'm doing this is I care a lot about this industry. I want you guys to survive. I want you guys to prosper. And so it will be completely free. And it's going to be myself walking you guys through this, answering your questions on how to build one of these campaigns. Because in my opinion right now, that's a huge opportunity because Google Ads is still relatively expensive. That's where a lot of your lead volume is. And don't get me confused. If you live in a small city, let's say it's Jacksonville, Florida, okay? You might not be able to spend $500 a month on Bing ads, but you might be able to spend $250 a month, and that $200 to $250 a month could get you possibly 50, 60 leads a month. Okay, much less than Google Ads. And so it's going to be Wednesday, March 25th. It's going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to start creating some promotion for it, but it's going to be the only webinar training I've ever done that isn't just slides. It's going to be a step-by-step tutorial because I know when you look at slides, you're like, okay, there's just so many gaps that you haven't filled. I still can't just go build this thing. And I know many of you have never even tried to build a Google or Bing ads campaign, and the thought is probably overwhelming. But I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to answer your questions because right now, while the world's panicking, I think there's still a lot of opportunity. I'm a huge follower of Grant Cardone. I know he spoke at the Chauffeur Driven show, and in his book, The 10X Rule, he talks about the times he grew most were during times of economic downturn where everyone's freaking out. He went all in, and that's when he really blew up. And so I want you guys to think about opportunity right now. I want you to get creative. I want you to take care of your clients, potentially offer them vouchers. If you're running a Bing ads campaign, that's a great idea. If you do want to cut costs somewhere and you're running both Google and Bing, I would lower the Google budget. Also, if you're running a Google Ads campaign right now, try to lower your bids. And then finally, make sure you are tracking now more than ever. Okay, you really want, no matter who you work with, whoever your agency is that you work with, you want to make sure you're getting in contact with them and coming up with a plan. That could mean changing around ad copy, making new offers, making alterations to your landing page, and really doing everything you can do to, potentially tighten the belt a little bit. But then again, there's some clients that I've worked with who want to spend even more because they know there's going to be less advertisers. And that's what we're going to see in the coming weeks. Less and less advertisers, which means there's going to be more opportunity for those people that are still advertising. Now, I'm not saying to be foolish. Obviously, I know cash flow is king. It's the most important thing, and if you don't have it coming in, your business will shut down and slow down, and you'll go out of business. But when you combine getting lots of cancellations and no new business, it compounds an already bad problem. So I'm not saying you shouldn't pause or cancel your campaigns. Talk to your agency, but more than anything, you need to know exactly how many new leads are getting you every day, how many of those leads are, converting. And if you've watched my videos before, this goes without saying. You guys must do everything you can in your power to respond to those quote requests quickly, to be doing your follow-ups, follow up until they tell you, please stop bugging me. I'm not kidding. That's what you should be doing. That's what you always should have been doing, but especially now. So guys, stay safe out there. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be on the lookout. Wednesday, March 25th at 2 p.m. Eastern, I am going to do my first ever webinar where I walk you through the whole creation of a Bing Ads campaign. And again, the reason I'm doing Bing Ads is because you can't spend a ton of money on it. Even my clients in Los Angeles, I believe only can spend around $1,500 a month. So in smaller cities, you might only be spending a few $100s a month, but that few $100s a month you spend, especially if you build it yourself, is going to get you twice to sometimes 3 times as many new leads opportunities than Google Ads campaign would. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I would very much appreciate it if you would share this. I'm posting this on Facebook and YouTube, but if you're watching this on Facebook, please give this a share, because I truly feel like the more people watch this training and take action, right now you might even have a little more time on your hands, and learning how to build like a Bing Ads campaign, especially if you're a small operator, it's going to really help you start to grow your business. So guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Make sure you're washing your hands. We're going to get past this, and I hope all of you have a fantastic week.